So Vero Beach voters approved a $250 million redevelopment of land loosely known as the Three Corners Project by 79%. Just over the bridge, there's an old power plant called Big Blue, no longer in the electric biz. The city owns the land. The city wants it redeveloped. They put out a call for RFPs to see what's everybody's vision for what it could be on a lease where they would own, the city would retain ownership. And one company called ClearPath wowed everybody with their vision. So long story short, is it gonna happen? Is it gonna be scaled back? Is it gonna stall? What is the impact on all of it? Today, we're gonna break it down. Who put forth proposals? Initially, nobody, so they had to extend the time. What's material is that the city wants to retain the ownership of the site. So think about that. They're asking folks to invest millions and millions and millions of dollars in land they don't own. So that in and of itself was a structure that dropped out a lot of people. Finally, though, they had a bunch of applicants, and the one that prevailed was one that required some asterisks, meaning this would require some variances, some approvals, and some things that aren't necessarily a given that they will be granted. So the planning continues. Aside from the marina and the boutiques and the galleries, phase 2 of the hotel, phase 3 is actually meant to be a children's science and technology museum, taking advantage of the diverse ecosystem known as the Indian River Lagoon, which is right there. It would be a wonderful accompaniment to the Environmental Learning Center on the north end of the island. They've assembled a top shelf team. They've got CBRE for financing. They've got Proctor Construction, shout out to them. Beautiful local company. Kimley Horn, very well regarded engineering company. You have to pay for all of this, and it's a lot of money, and there are obstacles that need to be overcome. Number one, just because you have a great team and you're going out with a plan on paper doesn't mean you have the budget and you have capital committed to build it. Ideas are just ideas until there's backing behind them and government entities give you the requisite approvals that you need, right? So it's concept, reality. The question is, can one become the other? Problem number 2 comes from lived experience in the Vero Beach, Indian River County environment, where we don't want to give variances. There have been many applicants, many different sites that have sought, for very good reasons, so they say, height variances, whether it's a senior living center over by the hospital or this project that have been denied. The question is there a will to grant variances required to make this project happen? And if so, is that a precedent that chips away at the hallmark and bedrock of our foundation, which is low density, height restricted? Or are we gonna say, nope, work within the footprint? Problem 3 is really a compilation of problem 1 and 2. You've gotta fund it, and then you've gotta get the approvals. Those are 2 very large hurdles. So the question becomes, what's gonna happen? Well, one of 3 things are gonna happen. 1, the money gets funded, the approvals get in hand, variance is granted, the project goes forward. Possibility number 2, the project will happen, but in some scaled back fashion. So maybe that means there is no hotel. Maybe it's more retail and marina in park and no hotel because the numbers required to make the hotel profitable don't make sense given the height and the yield and the amount of doors that that hotel would have. Possibility number 3, I think it's possible. I happen to think it's unlikely. I think it's more probable that we'll get a scaled back final project, is that nothing happens and the whole thing is stalled. I think for the sake of everybody in Vero, I think probably scenario number 2 is more likely, where they don't get the height variances that they want, because I think a lot of constituents would find that an unacceptable precedent to set, which then there it goes. So what happens to all of the folks in Vero with 1, 2, and 3? Option 1, it happens. I think we get more tourism, more people can stay in the hotel. The museum itself becomes an entity that becomes an attractive feature for tourism. We've already seen a little bit of tourism going up anyway, as I think it does really, even if it's a scaled back version, because if there's something that's perceived to be an asset that's easy to get to for those adjacent communities, whether it's restaurants, shops, boutiques, a park, or a marina, that's a good thing. And I think there is a rising tide effect that investment has on those homeowners. Not dissimilar to all of the amenities that are available along Royal Palm Point to the north to all of those communities, because there's shops and dining and private boathouses and new restaurant called Trade Winds all right there. If nothing happens and it goes dormant, I don't think it's even a net effect. I think it's a no effect. I think then the city needs to figure out what they want to do with the site, and maybe the city decides they're going to sell it. I don't know. I'm not sure there's an appetite for that either. So what do the locals think? My guess would be the locals want the development. I'm not sure there's an appetite for height variances for a hotel. My guess would be if that didn't pencil out and make economic sense within the constraints of our existing structure, locals would be okay with that. My guess is the majority would be okay with that. But they'd love to see another park, another marina with controlled development and access to take advantage of our beautiful Indian River. And frankly, it would be nice to have a little more outdoor dining spots than we have presently. So I think locals, if it was something of that mix, would be extremely supportive of the development. So let's talk about timelines. Construction starting in 2026. I don't doubt that they've got a great team committed to it, but you've got to put your funding together and then you've got to get your approvals. None of that is a fast process. Done by 2031. Well, we are at 2026 now. I think it's possible that it could be done by then. And the question becomes, what is it going to be? I don't think we're going to be seeing it in the next year or two. I think what it's going to become will be clear in the next year or two, and then the construction thereafter. My take, I don't know the particulars, I'm not an expert. This is just my take on what I've been reading in the local papers and from what I know about being here 22 years. So if it happens in some fashion, positive uptick effect on Vero Beach overall, and having one more great thing to do, whether it's a park or the full-blown hotel site of some sort, and the Children's Museum would be fantastic. If it doesn't happen, I think there's no negative effect and it becomes neutral, and Vero Beach inherently, just by virtue of its long-standing low-density, limited development portfolio policy, still continues to appreciate as we have scarcity on our side and they're not making any more land. So until then, I think we're in good shape, but time will tell, and I will keep you guys posted in terms of where things are going and what this project ends up looking like. Concept versus reality. Time will tell. Thanks for watching. If you want more information about this, DM me or email me at hello@thedaileygroup.com, and I'll give you more info as I know it. And if you want to talk more about Vero Beach, be sure to check all of our YouTube channels, because there's so many videos about different topics that you guys tell me you want to hear about, and I appreciate you watching. Have a great day. Until next time, I'm Sally Daley. Take care.